when we get back to business, I mean, yes, your health is very, very important. I would say, you got to work on your health, but when it comes back to the business, we have to get to the point where we're nurturing our relationships. We have to create a safety net for ourselves. And even my husband this morning, and I was speaking to a sales meeting for a mortgage company today. And, right before the meeting, I said, yeah, I'm doing this kind of thing, whatever. And I said, yeah, we're going to talk about events. And he's like, well, you can't do events right now because it's COVID. And I was like, wait a minute, who are you talking to? I've done three-day workshops. I've done 2 summits.
And he's not aware of this?
Yeah, no, he's aware of this, but for some reason I can do this, but he can't as a loan officer, right? And I'm saying I don't really understand, why we aren't engaging. And so people are delaying their success and leaving it to COVID. And here's the bottom line. We're in a cocoon right now, the COVID cocoon. And you have a choice. You can shrivel up and die inside this cocoon. And when we're finally released and someone slices you open, you're just nothing. Or you can be working on yourself so that the moment it's slit open, you fly out like a butterfly, right? You're just on your way. And that's a choice. That's everything right. We do is choices. And the choice right now is to get ahead of the wave. When the bottom falls out, you don't want to be the one who's out there doing the same thing everybody else is doing. You want to be further ahead in that 4 stages. You want to be in the concentration and almost momentum mode so that when this momentum falls, you might fall, but only fall here, not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? So I mean, our loan officers, I'm constantly preaching about, again, relationships first, but relationships now with your business partners, the real estate agents, the financial advisors, et cetera. You better be in good relationships with them, because when this market changes, all the competition is now, attempting to steal it from you. So you better be tight. They won't get it from you if you've got a tight relationship. But if you've been negligent because you're doing 90% refis, you got a little problem.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'll tell you this. I mean, I would go back, and this is what I've been suggesting, is go through your database. 1, print your database A to Z with last name A to Z. That's the first thing. Starting January 1st, you call everybody with the last name A the first week. And we've all heard this sort of, way of doing the ABCs and stuff. You call everybody with the last name A, but I mean, these are people that have waited. I've been saying this since March, right? Saying, you need to be calling your people. You need to be calling your people. If I were a real estate agent, for example, or anything, if I were any of that, and I haven't heard hide nor hair from you about how I'm doing, about how my business is, and you have me on your list and you think that we have a great relationship, I have news for you. Right. I'm not interested. Totally agree. I am not interested 1 iota of working with you. So it is important that we're reaching out and checking up with them. And it's the same script. It truly is. What we were doing before was, hey, it's Jen over here at ABC Mortgage. How are you? How are you doing today? Great. Now it's, hey, it's Jen over here at ABC Mortgage. How are you doing?
Right.
It's beautiful. The same words. It's just a different tone. And you need to be reaching out to these people, to work with them. So I would say go through your database. And if there's a name on there that makes you cringe, delete them. Mm-hmm. You don't want to work with them anyway. But if there are people on there that mean something to you, you better make sure that they know that they mean something to you. And right now is a great time, because regardless of the fact that you didn't call them before, suck a little crow, say, hey, it's me. And I know I've been remiss. I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you and how grateful I am for our relationship. And I know I steered us wrong, and I apologize for that. But I want you to know that I'm here for you. Knowing that we're walking into 2021, what can I do to help your business? What can I do to help you?
Beautiful. So what kind of tips would you give loan officers to capture new relationships, people that they haven't met yet? So with COVID, obviously, you can't go have lunch.
But you can.
Days. You can.
Yeah, I can have lunch with you.
There you go. Is that the advice you'd give?
Oh yeah, I'd be having lunch right now and saying, "Hey, listen, Dan, do you want to? I'd love to have some lunch with you." And they go, "Oh, it's COVID, it's lunch." Yeah, so we have a couple of choices. I can make my lunch, you can make yours, and we'll sit and we'll break bread together. Or if you want to have Panera, let's go to Panera. I'll order some Panera and have it goobered, right? Whatever that grub, whatever. Because I'm way out in the country, so I get nothing, not even pizza
Nothing
delivered.
delivered. You have to go get it.
I have to go get pizza before COVID. I can, it's too far. We used to meet them at the post office, which was 20 minutes from me and a half hour from them. By the time I got home, it was cold, so we stopped doing it. But yeah, have something lunch delivered to their house so that you can eat at Panera together and break bread and find out what's going on in your practice. How did this year turn out? How is it turning out? What do you want to do different? How can I help? What are your challenges? Who do you want to be connected with? Because that makes me start getting connected. How can I help you, right now? So in
Yeah,
those
I think
ABC,
now's easier than ever. I mean, they're
they're
probably
at
not
home.
hearing, yeah, they're at home. They're not hearing from their loan officer as often.
Yeah.
Chances
Yeah.
are, I mean, all the stuff we're talking about, there's going to be neglect with some of them, and it's an opportunity now to.
It's the holidays, whether
Yep,
you do it before
yep.
the holidays or you do it in between the holidays or you do it right after the first of the year, this is the prime time to be able to connect. But don't pretend like you haven't connected. Own up to that and say, I've been remiss. I know I've been remiss.
Well, that just makes you authentic, and I think that's going to pull people even
Absolutely.
tighter, right?
Absolutely.
It's owning it, regardless of whose fault it is. It's just
Yeah.
owning it, and I love that. So, are you able to um, pass all this knowledge on to your husband?
Well, we were partners in the business. I mean, we've been married 37 years. He's been in the business, I think, coming up on 25. And we've known each other. We're high school sweethearts. We've known each other since we were 14 and 15. So um, we've dated that whole time. So he knows how to do it. I think where he struggles, to be quite honest, is that for 17 years, we were a team. I brought him onto the team. He was my right-hand man. We call him the loan mechanic because he thinks out of the box and loves fixing loans and all
Structuring
that.
deals, yeah.
And I'm the head, right? I'm the talking head and the finder, and he's really the minder in my bit and was the minder in my business. And he even admitted that today. He said, I said, well, everything you're talking about today to me is about service. And I don't really care because you have to give service. So what are you going to do to grow your business? That's what I want to know. What are you going to do to grow your business? And this is a guy who is funding 10 million a month. So it's not like he's not doing anything,
Right.
right?
He's doing
But
something
he's
right.
like, but all he's doing is service, service, service. And what we now need to do is talk about how to expand, how to differentiate. Those are the things that need to be done now. And he said, I think I just got, and this is a habit thing. He said, I think I just got in the habit of being the one who takes care of. And so I take care of instead of saying, I need to be out there thinking and having a different mindset of what's next, and then what could I do? And now what could I do? And have I squeezed everything I possibly could out of everything that I'm doing? And so I think he came to that realization. Hopefully when he was driving in today, he's thinking um, about
I
all.
have a feeling that a lot of loan officers are like that.
Yeah.
They're sitting back, they've gotten used to structuring deals and making things work and talking to underwriting and those sorts of things. So how do you,
Yeah. Break
I mean,
habits.
are you the person because, maybe you're um, an inside person. Maybe you just don't like getting out. You're an introvert. You're not an
Yeah.
extrovert. Maybe you don't want to go out and get business. What advice would you give to those
Yeah.
guys? Hire somebody?
Well, yeah, but actually, yeah, if you're an introvert, hire a business development officer. But if you're just, I apologize, but lazy, if you're just lazy or you don't know how to do it and it doesn't rub well with you, you don't, like I was an underwriter for a long time, but I don't like talking to paper. I like talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your gut that you're a people person, then you have to start recalibrating the habits. It's just like interest, right? Interest doesn't care what term it is. It just knows what it wants. Habits are the same thing. There's good habits and they're bad habits, and they're just habits. So in order to start shifting that tide, it's recognizing, increasing the awareness of the bad habit and saying, how do I shift that and supersede it with a good habit?
Yeah.
You know, and so if the bad habit is to sit, and that's why I was saying gamifying, the bad habit is to just sit and watch TV and Netflix, and you're running out of Netflixes to watch because of COVID. To counter that habit is to gamify it and say, I'm going to replace it with a good habit. Before I do that, I'm going to make one phone call to one client with the last name letter of A, just to do it once. Not call all of them, just do it once. But then I can watch TV. But here's what happens. You do it once and your clients are so happy to hear from you, even if it's been years. They're so happy to hear from you that you'll go, hey, that wasn't too bad. Maybe I can make 2 or 3. And now you never make it to the TV.
Beautiful.
You're now calling your clients.
Right.
So you have to counter a bad habit with a good habit and tiptoe into it if you have to.
Right. Yeah, I see people that are good at structuring deals and actually helping the customer have a good experience. I mean, just better than good service, just well taken care of.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a database and you stay in touch with those customers, they're going to refer just as many people to you as a real estate agent will.
Oh yeah.
We're having our loan officers get a lot more from their database than real estate agents.
So here's what I call that. And it's funny you said that, because in our industry, it's funny that as loan officers, we're waiting and begging and pleading from these real estate agents. And don't get me wrong, because I coach them too, but we're begging and pleading and waiting for these real estate agents who close 4 deals a year to send us business, right? It's so backwards. So there's a book called Acres of Diamonds. And the cliff note, and by the way, it's just a small book, but there's a lot of writing in it. It's very small print. Okay. But I'm going to give you the cliff notes on it. The cliff notes are this guy, and where is it? This guy, I'll be back in a moment. This guy, he hears that, diamonds are becoming, oh my gosh, the world's filled with diamonds. Let's go find diamonds. So he sells his property and he takes his money and he travels the world and he looks for diamonds and diamonds and diamonds, right? And finally, when he has no money left, he can't find the diamonds. He comes back to his hometown, poor, no money, happens to see the guy that bought his property, and that guy is a gazillionaire. And he said, how did you do that? And he said, I had acres of diamonds right under me. All I had to do was dig.
I love it.
Okay.
Wow.
So this is what we do. You can tell I've done this a bunch of times. Where's my next deal? Where's my next deal? Where's my next deal? Right? Statistically, year after year after year, 67% of your business next year is in your acres of diamonds. So if you close 100 loans this year, 67 loans are there for the taking if you do the work to nurture your clients.
Yep.
Not necessarily for them to come back 4 or 5 times, but for them to refer as well.
Yeah, we found
also people your database, not just your clients, your referral partners too.
Oh, and we see so many people wanting to get out of the city. I'm about 2 hours from the Bay Area, just outside of Sacramento, but we live primarily in Incline Village, Nevada.
Yeah.
And there's nothing for sale up around Lake Tahoe. There's nothing. I mean, things are going like this. And I think what that's created for us is doing lots of second home loans. First time home buyers are now, the home prices are close to $500,000. And we're seeing the beauty of, this has just been nothing but great for.
Yeah. And it's really is the difference between nurturing or neglecting. That's right. The bottom line. Are you nurturing or neglecting? And I'll tell you this, and this is why I had to go, go through your database. And if there's someone who's just yucky, then these are all technical skills or words. But if there's someone who is not complementary to your practice and they complicate, you have to get rid of them, because that one person, the thought about, I have to call my database, right? My community. But that thought of calling that one person prevents you from calling all the 1,000 other people. I don't know why it does that, but because it's the whole of the database. It's not looking at the individuals.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
get rid of the ones that are going to prevent you from contacting the ones you like and the ones you love and the ones that are loyal to you or you hope are loyal to you, because this is what you're doing, is trying to create loyalty by doing this. It's called, I call it the, I mean, definitely we know client journeys, but I call it the infinity, right? Because instead of I got a deal, I closed a deal, I got a deal, I closed a deal, and I don't call them or talk to them ever again and hope that they'll call me back. Imagine if you actually did communicate with them and you got, how
Wow.
much more money have you left on the table?
Right. Wow.
Because don't think for a minute they weren't calling, their servicer wasn't calling.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
But it's, I got a deal, I get a deal. So it's very linear. I'm proposing an infinity, right? Where you're on the one side, you have the marketing piece and you're gaining clarity of who you are so that you can market yourself, right? That's all the marketing piece of it. And making sure that you're a market influencer and that people see you and that you're getting the bandwidth. And you go from being invisible to invincible, right? So people pick you. But then when you go on the other side of the infinity sign, now it becomes customer experience. It's not service. I don't care who your company is. I don't care what your rates are, because everyone's going to go through the same exact process, which is fulfillment. But how you take people through the vertical on this is experience, and how they feel about you is what will create them becoming loyal and pushing other people into the trigger on the other side.
That's really
and
good.
themselves into that trigger, right?
That's really good. So what,
Yeah.
I've got one more question. So boundaries, what kind of, how do you set them? So again, I'm married to a high producing loan officer as well. And she's got her realtor partners are also very good friends of hers who are they're very high producing realtors. You know, there's, you know, could be a call at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. There's
right.
You know, and unlike you, my wife doesn't necessarily listen to me.
No, my husband's not listening to me either. Are you kidding me? He was, no, we were at the vineyard the other day and he was outside the whole time walking the concrete balance beam, you know, and that's what I call it, because it's like walking back and forth on those stupid little things that when you pull up, you know, or the curb, and he's walking back and he's nodding to people. Yeah, I'm on the phone. You know, I call it the concrete balance beam. No, he does it too. And I think that, you know, we all have issues. I mean, I even do in mine, and I catch myself. That's the key, is catching myself. So I have a PDF that I want to just offer to everybody here, but the PDF is 7 strategies to transform your business mindset. And it's 7 thought-provoking questions that walk you through, you know, what are your core values? Because if your family, if your wife says, for example, you know, family is so important to me, then why are you on the phone? And there's nothing else to say. If family is so important, why are you on the phone? Why are they second? So there's a quote: we flatter those we scarcely know. We please the fleeting guests, but we deal many a thoughtless blow to those we love the best.
That's very good. Wow. Yeah, we have this little problem where our devices are within viewing distance.
Of course.
I'm on an iPad, she's on her cell phone or her laptop, and they're there. So even if we're bored for 3 seconds of a conversation, you know, I'm looking for emails. I'm on Facebook. Yeah. I'm going on LinkedIn. It's a crazy distraction.
It is. And I think you have to, you know, that's setting the boundaries too. And so anyway, so the 7 questions, you know, are going to take you through core values, like what is important to you? You know, are you living up to that? What you say is important to you? What do you want out of life? You know, in the wheel, right? And so some of the mantras I use with my practice is live your legacy while you're building it. Don't just build the legacy and then die, right? I mean, that's what happened, almost happened to my husband, right? Work on purpose so you can play with passion. Don't just work. Have intention for your work. Is it aligning with your goals, right? Are you setting boundaries? Are you doing activities for the sake of activities, or are you doing activities that are really moving the needle on your business? Don't do his activities, do your activities.
Yeah.
Right. And then it goes on and on. Who are your mentors? Who are the people they say about the 5 people you're around? Who are the people you're surrounding you with? If you think of, even if we just look at production, with a ladder against a wall, right? Is that each rung represents production. You can't get to the top by hanging on to the bottom. So you have to analyze who are the people that I'm associating myself with. And while they worked for that level, maybe they're not climbing up to a new altitude with me.
With you, yeah.
And they're holding me down. Maybe that's a realtor that is wanting too much from you all the time, who's calling you at 8 and doesn't respect that you don't work late in the evening. Have you even relayed that to them? Right? Mm-hmm. That you don't work, or making the choice, hey, my A pluses, my top producers, I'll bend over backwards and be available, but everybody else, you don't get me. You haven't earned that.
I love it. Jen, you've given and shared a wealth of information to our listeners.
Oh, thank you.
How can people get a hold of you? I know you're a giver. How can they get a hold of this?
Well, the first thing I was going to say is, go to, you can go to jenduplessis.com/7 strategies. And that's where you can get the PDF. Okay. So, and take some time to kind of look through it, work on it, put it away, sleep on it, come back again. Just so you can kind of get your checkup from your neck up. That'd be the first thing. If someone, is interested, and this resonates with them, right? My style resonates, and it won't for everybody. If my style resonates with you, text the word strategy to 66866 and schedule a 30-minute consultation with me. And then we'll decide where we go from there. That whole time is but bring one problem. Don't bring all your problems, bring one. I can't solve them all in 30 minutes. Bring one problem and we can work on it together. And, if that's something that you want to move forward with, then we will. But, I'm not looking to be the biggest coaching company in the world. I'm not. I'm very boutique-y. I know intimately what my clients are going through, and I help them triple their income the right way.
Jen, how many loan officers are you working with at one time?
Right now I have 35 loan officers. I just added this up the other day. I was like, how many do I have? Yeah, I have 35 loan officers. Well, I shouldn't take that. I have 35 people that I'm working with, and I've got a handful of real estate agents that I'm working with as well. And they're all kind of in the group coaching together.
So it's group coaching. It's not one-on-one.
I no longer do well, I shouldn't say that. I will do one-on-one, but it's very, very expensive.
I hear you.
That way, you want it, I'll give it. But I did that because it's a time money breakout for me. I find that what you're not thinking of, someone else is, and that could solve a problem you don't even know you have.
Yep.
And so I do have private coaching, or not private coaching, but I have sessions built into the group coaching so that people do get me personally. But if they want private on top of that, it's substantially higher. So yeah, it's group coaching, but it's small group coaching. Everyone's intimately, involved, and we're all there to help each other. I'm certified as a mastermind instructor. So we run a lot of them like masterminds where we're all helping one another. I don't ever claim to be the end all solve all, that I know everything. So I always love getting new energy in. But yeah, so it really is having a conversation. You won't find anything online. I mean, you could go to mortgagelendingmastery.com and you could find one of my entry-level programs. But I like having conversations to really help people figure out where they should be in the coaching. And I'm the first one to tell you that you need to be at the very beginning. If you need to be at the very beginning, because there's a lot that, we dig in on. I crack the code, and I have 5 strategies or 5 principles that I share with people, and we go deep in all 5 of those.
All 5. Wow. Mm-hmm. I love talking to you, Jen. Thank you so much. And I'm confident that I'll have a few people calling you here very soon.
That's awesome. If it works for them, it works for me. I'm not the kind of person that goes out there and says that. So yeah, just, I would just say, go to jenduplessis.com. You can send me an email, or you can text me, whatever you want to do. I'm all over social media.
Yeah, so. You are. I love it. All right, Jen, thank you very much. Have a
Thank
great day.
you. You too. Thank you so much.
You bet. Bye-bye.